A woman claimed the federal government detained her for 43 hours. The Hampton Inn begs to differ. What you're about to see is how a single fabricated story about ICE detention went viral, swept up a county commissioner, and ultimately unraveled the moment real evidence stepped into the room. The story the legacy media doesn't want you to know is that the woman at the center of this story wasn't in a detention cell. She was at a spa. Yes, a spa. The only thing ICE had to do with this story is that the agency was used in a lie. We're going to walk through every piece of evidence, every surveillance clip, every text message, and every hotel checkout timestamp. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where we cut through the noise just to give you the real story. Look, if you like our videos, you're going to love our live streams. We do live streams every Friday night at 6 o'clock Eastern. Join us tomorrow night. You'll have a good time. All right, let's talk about something that's becoming almost a predictable cycle in modern media. A story breaks, it spreads like wildfire, politicians jump on it, and the outrage machine goes into full gear. And then, like clockwork, reality shows up and ruins the whole party. But the problem is, you got a bunch of dopey leftists out there who still believe it even after reality comes in. This is a story of Sundus Sunny Nakvi. She's a 28-year-old woman from Illinois who, for a very brief but very loud moment, became the face of alleged ICE abuse. She claimed that she had been detained for nearly 43 hours after returning from a business trip to Turkey. She said that she was held at Chicago O'Hare for close to 30 hours, then transferred to another ICE location, then moved to Dodge County Jail in Wisconsin. She told a harrowing story, right? One that had supporters rallying, social media lighting up, and politicians. Oh, the politicians. The most dangerous place to be was between them and a news camera. But here's where it starts to get really interesting. Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison didn't just believe her, he ran with it. He posted screenshots that he claimed showed her at Dodge County Jail. He appeared at a press event with her sister. He looked directly into the cameras and said, and I'm quoting here, "This is a 28-year-old girl just left on the street by ICE in another state without her property." He said she was released early on March 7 and had to hitchhike 9 miles before she reached a hotel where her family met her. Commissioner Morrison was fully invested in this narrative. Commissioner Morrison is a Democrat and a fool, and then federal authorities stepped in. That's when the first crack appeared, and it was a big one. The Department of Homeland Security didn't just push back, guys. They called the claims blatantly false. They released surveillance footage. That footage showed Nakvi entering a secondary inspection area at the airport and leaving approximately 90 minutes later. DHS put it in writing. She was not taken into custody. She was not transferred to ICE, and she was not detained. Period. Meanwhile, officials in Dodge County confirmed they had zero record of her. No booking, no detention, no release. She simply never appeared in their system because she was never there. Think about that. That's the reason. She was never there. She lied. Now, you'd think that would be the end of it, right? You'd think Commissioner Morrison would pump the brakes, issue a careful statement, maybe walk some things back. But nope. He doubled down. He accused federal authorities of lying. He claimed it was a cover-up. That was his move. When the evidence goes against you, call it a conspiracy. That's when Sheriff Dale Schmidt of Dodge County decided he'd had enough. He filed a federal defamation lawsuit.
Here is the outside camera. I'm not going to let this play through. I just want to show you where I got the next images from. So it's easy to see because this is a fisheye type camera. What I did was I zoomed in. On the left, I zoomed in. On the right, I turned it so you can actually see Sundance walking out with the victim. And you'll notice that the victim, a true gentleman, goes over and opens the door for her so that they can leave. Fireside Market is 37-minute drive or 26.7 miles away from the Dodge County Jail. This is for reference. This trip did not happen. This is just a reference point from where they were to where the jail was. And they're claiming that she was in the Dodge County Jail being released about this time. Not possible. Let's go further. After leaving the Fireside Market at 5:47 a.m., the witness told us he drove her to the Holiday Inn in Beaver Dam. Confirmed as his car hit on 2 flock cameras in Dodge County along this route. The arrival in Beaver Dam was at 6:33 a.m., and video was obtained from the American Inn and the Holiday Inn hotels. Clothing from all videos matches the clothing from Kevin Morrison's reunited post, which I've got up there again, the exact same clothing.
And then his office did something that should make Nakvi and her supporters very uncomfortable. They started pulling receipts, literally. According to investigators, Nakvi checked into the Hampton Inn and Suites in Rosemont, Illinois at 1:17 in the afternoon on March 5th. That's the same day she claims her detention nightmare began. And that hotel, it's a short drive from O'Hare, the same airport she claims she never left. But wait, we got more. While she was supposedly being shuffled between ICE facilities, investigators found a set of text messages she sent during that time. And these aren't messages you'd expect from someone being processed by federal authorities. One said, "May I use your card to order some food?" Another said, "Going to check out the gym in like 5. And my personal favorite was, "May I use your card to pay my spa lady?" She had a spa lady. ICE doesn't provide spa ladies, so let me be very clear about that. This is not a service offered at federal detention facilities. There are no manicures at Dodge County Jail either. So while the story of government abuse was spreading across the internet, Nakvi was apparently hitting the gym and getting a spa treatment at a hotel a few miles from the airport. The records show she checked out on March 8th in the afternoon, a timeline that lines up perfectly with the evidence and not at all with her public account that everybody went whack job over. And then there's the photograph, you know the one. The heartwarming reunited photo posted online as proof of her ordeal. Really? Investigators found a witness who drove her to a gas station early on March 7th. Video from that trip shows her wearing the exact same outfit she had on in that reunion photo. The photo that was supposed to validate her story ended up raising more questions than it answered. Now, here's the part that should make everybody have concern. No criminal charges were filed. Wait, what? Wisconsin officials said they couldn't pursue that route. But Sheriff Schmidt wasn't just going to shrug and move on. He filed a civil lawsuit seeking at least $1 million in damage from each defendant, including several unnamed individuals. His attorney put it plainly, this lawsuit was filed because a completely fabricated story was pushed into the national spotlight by Nakvi and Cook County Commissioner Morrison. Unfortunately, their claims were treated as fact without the most basic verification. That last part, without the most basic verification, is really the thing that should keep journalists and politicians up at night. This story didn't just slip through the cracks, guys. It was amplified. It was given a press conference. An elected official lent his credibility and platform. Now think about this. They were not vetted at all. The claims were just accepted because it was against ICE and Orange Man bad. Sheriff Schmidt is also running for re-election in 2026. He says the false accusations damaged his reputation and the reputation of his department. Well, I'm glad he fought back. That's exactly what should happen. As for Nakvi, no public statement. Morrison, not answering calls. Neither has confirmed legal representation. Now, here's the bottom line, guys. This isn't a one-off. This is a pattern. A story gets manufactured. It hits the emotional sweet spot, immigration, federal overreach, a sympathetic face, and it rockets across every platform before a single fact has been verified. By the time the truth shows up, most people have already moved on, already formed their opinions, already repeated the lie to their friends and family. You cannot run a national outrage campaign on a story that falls apart the moment someone pulls a hotel receipt. You can't accuse federal agents of serious misconduct and expect zero consequences when the truth comes out. And you cannot keep swapping verification for emotion and expect people to keep taking you seriously at some point. And maybe the courtroom is where this lesson finally lands. There have to be consequences for saying whatever it takes to push a narrative, regardless of who gets hurt in the process. The agents, the sheriff, the institutions, the people who actually believed the story. But the good news is Sheriff Schmidt is demanding accountability. The evidence is on the record. And this one may actually see a day in court. And that finally is a reason to watch what happens next. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.